Hello, parents. Glad to have you aboard tonight. I'm Mr. Price. This should be AP American History, also known as APUSH, the popular acronym. I'm here tonight to share a little bit about the course, look ahead a little bit to the AP exam, talk a little bit about some resources and some things maybe that you can do at home to help. So great to have you aboard tonight. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take you to the course syllabus, and I'm not going to take you through a lot, but I am going to give you an idea about what a challenging course AP History is. And basically at the end of AP, your son or daughter will have a chance to get 6 college credits. That is credit for an American History number 1 and American History number 2. So essentially we cover from pretty much the beginning of time in North America up until present day. It's quite a challenge. The reading load is pretty heavy, but I think by the time that they're through the class and we have our review sessions, we'll talk a little bit about that tonight. I think your sons and daughters should be in good position to score well enough on the AP exam, and we can talk about a few of those things coming up in a little bit. So the first thing I wanted to do was to share the AP syllabus. I'm just going to pull the document rather than just sharing the document up with you. But to let you know, this is a college level survey class, so we cover things very broadly through American history, but also in a lot of depth. And one of the things that means is that there's a lot of content. But as it says there, it's going to rely heavily on reading, writing, and classroom discussion. We'll also do some debates, some critical thinking activities, some creative activities along the way. One of the first things I tell them that when you get to college, and I usually invite them into the college classroom when they come in the first day, that probably like 9 out of 10 the factual information they are responsible for. So that means when they are given class readings, whether it's out of the textbook or otherwise, they're expected to take notes, interact with the content, and think through it. Most nights, if we take it through the whole way through the course, they're probably going to have 8 to 10 pages of reading a night. And I always tell them that you're going to work pretty hard. It's going to be pretty challenging. You're going to write pretty much, but the rewards are pretty great. So as it says there, and you can just kind of follow along with me, this course focuses on developing student understanding of American history from about 1491 to the present. Actually, we cover earlier history as well. They had done the first 5 chapters this summer, and that's kind of how and we just spend about a week on that, and that actually covers a little bit of the earlier history before 1491. So it examines and investigates the content of U.S. history for significant events, people, individuals, and processes. The course examines its 9 historical time periods. It also encourages the use of a large number of critical thinking skills that they use across these time periods as well. They include things like analyzing primary and secondary sources, making historical comparisons, chronological reasoning, and argumentation. So those are some of the skills they'll be looking at. My goals for them: be familiar with basic chronology of events. To me, history is a story. Yeah, it's more complicated than that, but if you know the story, you're going a long way to understanding the history. Become a clear and more effective writer. By the time we're done with the course, students in here will be much better writers, and we really do focus a lot on writing. They get a lot of feedback on their writing. We haven't done as much so far, but they are going to get some more. Improve analytical skills in dealing with primary sources, geography and map skills. We do a decent amount with that. My goal is for everyone to get a 3 on the AP exam. A 3 gets them 6 credits at a Pennsylvania State institution like a Millersville or a Westchester. Going to Ivy League, you might need a 5. Some of the Bucknells of the world, you might need a 4, and that's one of the things you might want to check out a little bit ahead of time. And we have a small class here. I have plenty of time for your questions and your students' questions as well. We're also going to spend some time with historiography, and that is basically what I call the history of history. We look at the various interpretations of history over time, and also how that history changes over time. It's the analysis. It's looking more deeply into it. It's examining forces and approaches. Each of the schools of historiography that we talk about, certain assumptions underlie them, and that's where we get a lot of the differing views and nuance to history that I think is really important. And I am going to challenge students to examine their feelings, beliefs, and attitudes. You've got an idea about the grading there. I'm not going to take you through that. Student expectations. I want them to love history. That's probably the most important thing, but the expectation is that they will take the AP history test come May. And I think they're already in the process. They should have gotten some materials on signing up for those classes. Let's see, anything else? Teacher expectations, in-depth knowledge and preparation for each day's lesson. Come in knowing a lot, ready to talk about things, ready to examine things in a little bit more depth. Class participation. We have a small class. I'm really trying to do some things this year to try to get students involved. We've done a number of like Socratic seminars, debates, and things like that. We still have to work a little bit on the daily participation thing. I don't want to just be a deliverer of notes because they do most of the notes on their own. I'm not here to just deliver content, but check for understanding and examine things in a much deeper way. Parental expectations. I'm thinking along the lines of being encouraging and to understand that AP history is hard, but also to not accept poor grades on tests as well. And the students, they can get A's and B's on these tests. It takes some time, it takes some effort, and there are people that do quite well on the test. Having said that, the content is a challenge, and if you have any questions on some things that I can help your sons or daughters to do better, please talk to me about that. Emphasize the importance of taking the AP test. They put the time in. It validates Cacalico's program. It validates the course that I've taught, and it validates all the hard work that they put in. And I'm not going to take you through a bunch of these, but different themes that we're going to talk about in the course of the year. They already have this syllabus. You can ask for it. I can also post it online. Themes like American and national identity, politics and power, work exchange technology, culture and society, migration and settlement, geography and the environment, and America and the world. So I give some examples of each on the syllabus, give you a list of materials that we're going to use. This is our textbook. Do I have it listed here? I think I do. Yeah, American Pageant. It's probably the best known and most used of all the AP textbooks. It's a little funky. I think students tend to enjoy it because it is written a little bit differently than some of them. I also included some of the other resources, both nonfiction, historiography, primary sources, and some things like that that we'll use. And then, I'm not going to take you obviously through all that, but it outlines like the specific content, major activities, and things like that that we did along the way. And again, this is a super long syllabus that we had to do for AP. It roughly follows what we do. Is not perfect in some ways as far as down to the last detail, but I will post that and you can take a look at that online. They should already have a copy of that. Let's see, what else did I want to do? Oh, I know. I wanted to show you the AP history page. Your sons and daughters had to be on this already. So this is the one specifically for AP United States history. And they have lots of things in here like the AP history course and exam description. We've started preparing them for some of the types of questions that they have. There's practice free response questions. There's also AP Classroom, which we're going to start using this a little bit. I tend to not use it a whole lot because I think it's a little bit unwieldy, but it will definitely be open for them to work in the time period after our class ends and before the test takes place. So tons of stuff things in there for them to check out. So they should already be registered as part of that page. I'm going to go back on Schoology for a second here. And like some things that they can check out that I labeled early and marked for their use to get ready for tests. There's the Gilder Lehman online resources, which includes plenty of advice for AP. I'll just kind of show you really fast what it looks like. I'm not really sure if they're using it. This is something that they can use. They have videos. They have study guides for each time period. They're going to get those from me as well. They also have little videos about the importance of that time period, primary sources, ideas for essays. And again, that is the Gilder Lehrman series of online resources. I also have some practice tests. There's practice tests from APUSH itself. These are those practice tests, and they are online. Actually, I'm sorry, these practice tests are ones that were created to get students ready for the test, and here are the ones that are specific to their textbook, The American Pageant. And you can see that they have lesson plans daily that we do, and I'd say for AP, I'd probably do a little bit less on Schoology than other classes, so they'll see more things in paper. But there are obviously like activities on there as well that they'll do in the course of the semester. Heading into the spring, this class will end at the end of January. Usually I tell them not to look at AP history at all, take like a 2, maybe 3-week break, and then start doing some review. I will have a specific schedule for them. We will do more modern history in the review sessions. I usually do anywhere from 4 to 6 review sessions. Those review sessions are usually 2 hours in the evening. I usually do them about 6 o'clock to 8 here in the building. You don't absolutely have to be here, but I provide a lot of materials, and we do some of the history that we're going to struggle to get to. Like I'll do like one night on the Cold War, civil rights. We'll take a couple decades at a time. For that, I usually have a little bit of reading that they do ahead of time, and that sort of thing. So it's one of the things that does is enables me to not go through content so fast and to do some more in-depth things. But if they attend the review sessions, do some studying and preparation on their own, they should be ready to go. Traditionally, scores for APUSH, it's probably, along with AP Bio, the toughest, but students have consistently gotten 3s or better since I've been teaching the class, maybe a few 2s and a couple 1s along the way. I also tell them as we get closer to that time, talk to me if you want me to give an honest assessment about where you are or how I think you would perform given some preparation work up until the test time. I'm willing to give a pretty honest idea for that. I don't want to discourage anybody, but I also let them know, hey, there's some work you have to do between now and the May test. So please keep in touch with me if you have any questions, comments, concerns, grade-wise, content-wise, those kinds of things. Let me know, and I'd love to sit down and talk with you. Hey, I hope everybody has a good night. There's some resources that I gave that you can check out, and hopefully you get a little bit more comfortable with APUSH or AP US History. Hey, thanks a lot for being here tonight, and have a good night.